Hey everybody, it's another episode of From Bot to Heart. I am Tom David Manning, and today we're going to be doing chest and talking about validation, or at least my addiction to validation. I know that's ironic because I'm doing this in the gym where a lot of validation can happen, but I'm talking about validation in every single walk of my life and how I'm trying to turn that down and just try to ease myself into a place where I'm self-validating, or in fact, just grounding myself so I don't even need any validation whatsoever. It's a whole thing. All right, we're going to get into it. But first, cable machine, chest, press. Let's do it. Okay, so we're on the cable machine here. This is my favorite cable machine of all time because it's also a power rack, weirdly enough, and it just feels very, very stable and very secure. I really love it. And we're going to be doing chest press with the cable machine. I like this because I get a way better full muscle activation, full chest activation, specifically lower chest. That I really love that full push with. We're on 27 kilograms on each side. So it's going to be a warm-up / working set, but we're going to feel that full activation, and then we're going to push ourselves just a little bit further than one usually would. Okay, let's do it. Really feel that stretch at the bottom. And that pump at the top. Full activation. Oh man, that felt really good. That full activation is so validation. What is validation? Validation is something essentially saying you are doing the right thing in the right way, and you are making the right choices, and you are safe in the place that you currently are residing. And I've needed that, and I've been, one would say, addicted to that. And my masking, I think, is really motivated to get that validation, to feel secure in my environment through masking. By getting that validation, I feel like I'm securing my space in my place. And it takes everything from you. It takes everything from you. From my experience, it takes everything from you searching for that validation and needing it in so many different ways, because you don't authenticate your life. Other people do. You can't trust yourself. You need that authentication, that validation from other individuals so that you feel like you're doing the right things in the right way. But that means you never make a choice by yourself, because it's always somebody else validating your choice, or even making the choice for you. And when you want to do something different than the validating voice, so you want to do something different than the authenticating voice, it feels terrifying. It feels scary, because suddenly now you're going into an unsafe place. You're going into danger. And if that voice is like, you're going into danger, you're like, wow, I am going into danger. I need to watch out. And so that's what I mean when I say it takes everything away from you. You give everything to it. You give everything to the validating voice, because you need this validation to live. You need this validation to survive. And without it, where are you? In a very, very dangerous space, in a dangerous space that you don't know if you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing, and you're terrified and you're anxious and you spiral and you go like, what is happening with my life? I don't even know. And then you get a little bit of validation. You're like, oh, thank goodness I'm safe again. I feel secure in that validation because I got validated from somebody saying, good job. It's kind of maddening. And then you end up in a place where you're like, I need this validation, but also I don't want it because I kind of want to make my own choices. I want to make my own decisions. And that requires like a building of like a framework of a structure in yourself to validate your own experience. But that can only take you so far. And as soon as you get external validation, you're addicted to the validation again. And it's like, oh boy, so you got to really stay centered with your own validation and your own like authentication. Right, let's raise the weight. Let us change the camera angle. And we're going to push it a little bit further. Okay, changed camera angle, raised the weight. We are now on 41 kilograms, 41 kilograms. So feeling good about that. And yeah, let's go heavy. Let's go heavy and feel that full activation. Self-validation is hard if you're not used to it. And if you're used to getting that external validation, is, you know, it's tricky replacing that. But when you get into the process of self-validating, it can take you down an interesting path. All right, let's do a set and we'll talk a little bit further about that.
The main theory of time with this board does not have a team member on the site and is remotely monitored by a 24/7 team. Please ensure you remain aware of your surroundings, listen out for fire alarms, and when training, use equipment responsibly. If you or a fellow member needs urgent assistance, hit one of the red arrows and our 24-hour team will be on hand in a second. You may not see us, but we're on the line.
Oh, wow. We can totally go heavy on that. Like, that's nuts. That's nuts. I can go heavier on that. Like, that's crazy. But yeah, good job, me. See, that's what I'm talking about. The self-validation. Like, you're doing great. Woohoo. I know that there is an irony. There is an irony of me talking about validation and self-validation. And being like, I don't need validation from other people, while also in the gym, recording myself, working out, talking about my feelings, talking about my processes, break expectations. That's a tagline I've been thinking about a lot recently. Yeah, I might do something with that. But, you know, all of this is so, is the word insular? So much of what I'm talking about right now is just me talking to the camera, me validating myself. But I'm doing this in a place where, you know, you can get external validation quite easily, or you can get, I don't know, maybe even judged quite easily, and you're not getting that validation. You're like, what's happening? What's going on? Like, am I doing it wrong? Everybody's looking at me weird. Like, speaking as an individual who is always wearing the word autistic, it's been hard to go from a place of, I need validation to live, to a place of, I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to do it in my own way, and I'm going to self-validate and acknowledge the good work that I'm doing for myself. And it's been hard. It's been hard because I've tried to kind of wing it. And be like, I'm just going to do this, you know, however I want to do it, you know? and it has gone really well, and then it has gone horribly wrong. And it's quite a roller coaster ride. And that's because I didn't approach it from a place of grounding myself in a place where I'm like, okay, I know where I am. I know what I'm doing. I feel safe. I feel secure in what I'm doing and how I'm doing it because I've grounded myself in this space. And now I'm like, cool. Now I can do something and I can validate that rather than going, I don't feel safe. I don't feel secure. I'm going to do something. Oh, I'm going to validate it now. Okay, oh, cool. I feel validated. Somebody else goes, what's happening right now? And their response is, oh, I shouldn't have validated myself at all. I was wrong to validate myself. This person is saying I shouldn't be validating myself and I should be aware of my surroundings. So I'm so sorry. Please give me validation now. And that's because I didn't ground myself. So grounding is very important for this entire process. Okay, let's go ahead and put more weight on, change the camera angle, see how we do with that. Let's do it. Okay, change camera angle. And he said change validation. Weird. Change camera angle and put more weight on. We are now on 50 kilograms on each side. This will be a new personal best for me. Break expectations. Let's do it. Oh man. Whew. Oh my goodness. Those are 10 good reps. I feel 10 good reps. That was really interesting because when I've tried to hit heavy weights like that on dumbbells, I have been able to sustain it because of the free weight nature of it. It feels like it's like my stabilizers for doing that weight feel very wobbly because they're not used to dealing with that weight. But that was so good, man. That was crazy. Okay. Grounding. We're going to be talking about that. Grounding is very important for the self-validation process and for acknowledging where you are and what you're doing. And for a while, I didn't fully understand what grounding was. Like, I didn't get it. I think it's because I saw it as you grounding yourself to the earth and connecting to something like higher than you or something below you, or just something that is taking your weight. And I think it was because I was searching for validation from that grounding space, from that grounding place. But that just didn't work for me. And I know why I was doing it. It's because I'm so used to searching for validation outside of myself. So when I was doing that, I was like, I need validation from this space. And the space is just, I'm just a space. I don't even know what you're doing right now. So when it comes to grounding, I had to realize it was just me acknowledging the reality that I find myself in. And if it comes to validation from an external place, I need it to ground me in the reality I find myself in. So it isn't a judgment on what I'm doing or how I'm doing it, but rather just what's happening around me, where I am, what I'm doing, isn't really the most important thing. It's just where I am in space and time. That's the important bit. If I require an external presence in that, But just to ground myself and to go like, cool, this is what I'm doing, this is how I'm doing it, it was good to come to the realization that it was just making myself aware of where I was in space and time, and to know like what I am in this space, so that I could feel like, cool, I feel like I know all the facts around me and I feel secure in those facts, but also there isn't a pressure to get validation outside of myself. It's just me being me in this space in a grounded way. And that felt really good to acknowledge that. That felt really good to become aware of that. And that when I get that external validation, or when I get external validation, it isn't about myself and who I am or what I'm about. Instead, it's just about the grounding. It's just about the space I find myself in. And that, to me, is far more useful than any good job I could get. Okay, we're going to do one more set of this. One more, and then we're going to move on. Yeah. Good. Good job. Okay, good job. Good job. Great. Okay. We're going to move on to some form of leverage machine, I think. But once again, I love this cable machine. It's so good. And I can't believe I went that heavy with it. Like, that's nuts. I could definitely go heavier for just a 5 rep. I'm totally going to be doing that in future. This is great. Okay, cool. Yeah, leverage machine, we'll talk about more grounding, and we'll go on from there. Yeah, cool. Okay, so we are on the upper chest leverage press. Another one of my favorites. We've got 35 kilograms on each side, so we're doing a full working set. We've already done a little bit of a warm-up, so we're going to go into a full working set. And then we're going to talk about routes to ground yourself, how to ground yourself in a safe, secure place, rather than just being able to ground yourself in any place. Because that's tricky. Okay, we'll get into that, but let's do a set. Yeah, I love this machine because of the stretch you feel, but also it's full activation. It's full activation for that upper chest, for that bit right here is so good. So yeah, grounding. Like I said, I had a hard time grounding myself to begin with. And it was because I was searching for validation from the space. But it isn't about that. It isn't about that validation. It's about just knowing the facts of the space, or just what you have around you to feel secure and safe in that space. and to go like, there's no threats, there's no danger. This is just a normal space. And I tried to ground myself in chaotic spaces to begin with. And shockingly enough, that didn't work because I wasn't used to grounding myself. And it was just kind of acknowledging the dangers or the perceived dangers that I had around me. And so I had to be like, okay, this isn't working. Where do I need to ground myself? And it was like, cool, you need to do it in your bedroom. You need to do it in a park in the morning. You need to do it in a space that you feel in control of and safe. Then you can get used to that grounding feeling. And then you can move it into other spaces so you feel continuously grounded. That was my realization. And that was the process. And that can be in that space that you find yourself in to begin with, that safe space. It can be just looking around you and acknowledging what you see with your human eyeballs, and to be like, I see this, I see this, I see this. And it could also be what you hear, like, I hear this, I hear this, I hear this. And it could be you feeling your weight in the ground and being like, yeah, I feel like I am in this space and in this time with these objects around me, with these things making sound around me. I feel grounded in this space. Now, as an individual who has auditory processing issues and easy, how do I put this? Easily overstimulated to visual things, visual stimuli. It can be a lot. It can be a lot. So doing it in a controlled space to begin with, to acknowledge how it feels, to feel safe, because that's what being grounded is. Being grounded is feeling safe. That's what it is. And doing it in a small contained space to begin with, and then taking it further and further out so that you increase that amount of visual and audio stimuli is the best route I found for me to then go, I feel safe, I feel secure in the space, so that I don't need validation to then feel safe and secure. Do you see what I'm getting at? Do you see what I'm doing here? Grounding is about feeling safe. External validation is about feeling safe. Self-validation is about feeling safe. But two of those things aren't going to work that well for you, or at least that well for me, if I haven't grounded myself correctly. Because if I try to get external validation, it's just going to go no bueno really quickly, because then I'm just going to be masking. You're going to be fulfilling expectations. It's going to be redonkulous. If I just self-validate without grounding myself, I'm just going to end up wanting that validation externally again. So if I ground myself correctly, I can then get into a space where I can self-validate what I'm doing and feel good about it and feel good about what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. And then if I do get validation from another individual, it just grounds me further rather than takes me to a place of, oh, I need this validation to survive. Instead, I'm just like, I'm already grounded. This is fine. I already feel safe. This is fine. If I get external validation, that's cool, but I already feel safe. I'm already doing well. It's just going to ground me in the space I already have. Cool, great, thank you. I feel safe and secure. This is easy. This is fantastic. But I don't need it to live. And it's so hard because for a long time, I needed it to live. I needed to live with that. All right, let's do another set.
朝どころ。かわいい。
Ooh. Oh man. That feels really, really, really good. Okay, we're going to change the angle. I'm going to do another set. Yeah, let's keep it up. Okay. So, grounding is about feeling safe. Grounding is about feeling safe. Self-validation is about continuing to feel safe. External validation is about feeling safe while not trusting yourself and not trusting what you're doing and how you're doing it. That's how I perceive it. And if it comes to self-validation and I'm getting it and I don't feel grounded, that becomes my whole world. Whatever that person is telling me, that is the truth of the situation. That is what is happening around me. Whatever I actually thought or felt was happening around me is gone. Goodbye. See you later. This external voice is now the voice of truth, and that whatever happens, I need to listen to that truth. And if I disagree with it, I'm disagreeing with the most important voice in the room. But if I ground myself and I feel secure in what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, I feel secure in how I perceive things and what I'm doing. And then I can continue with my life and self-validate and feel like, yep, I'm doing the right things in the right way. Look at me go, I'm doing great. And if there is external validation of like, hey, great job, or like, hey, whatever you're doing, you need to stop or whatever, because this is wrong. That voice is just one perception rather than the whole deal. All right, let's do a set. Oh man, that was 10. That was a good 10, right? I changed the hand position on that one. Whew. Okay. Good job. Oh man. So that's what I'm talking about when I talk about like being addicted to validation. It's because I didn't feel secure in how I was perceiving things. I didn't feel safe in how I was seeing things. And I needed that validation externally to be able to fulfill the expectations of everyone else so that then I could feel secure. Then I could feel like I was safe in my world. And that was a transactional relationship with everything and everyone. And every single one of those relationships were unsustainable because when I disagreed with whatever was happening around me, I was putting myself in danger. And those voices outside of myself, those validating voices said, you are putting yourself in danger. And I believed them. And then I was terrified. And then I felt there was no escape and I could never validate myself. And I needed this validation externally to live. But figuring out how to ground myself, how to feel secure and safe in the place I was living in, meant that then I could move on and be able to do what I needed to do, to live the life I wanted to live, to break expectations and to be who I know I am. And that requires grounding and self-expression, validation of that self-expression. And if I get validation externally, that's nice, but it's not my whole world. That has been my process. Okay, let's do another set. Eight. Oh. Whew. Okay. Good job. Good job, good job, good job. Okay. Huh. Right, we're going to look at the time. See where we're at. What is that? 7:20. 7:20. Okay, doing well, doing well, doing good, doing good. Okay. Right. Oh, man. Okay. So we're going to figure out the next exercise we're going to do. But more importantly, doing really well on this. We've done really well on the cable machine. I'm just trying to think of what isolation I need to do next. But grounding, self-validation, external validation, all of these things is about feeling safe. And if you can ground yourself, feel safe, the other two don't feel as important. Okay, let's figure out the next thing we're going to do. Come on. Okay. So we're going to be doing dumbbell flies, upper chest dumbbell flies specifically. We're on 14s. And we're just going to see how far we can take this, because I don't know if I need to go heavier. I haven't done dumbbell flies in a little while, but we're going to see it. We're going to figure it out. Okay, that felt pretty good. I think we're going to go heavy. I think we're going to go maybe with 18s. Because I think that was, 14 reps, 15 reps. So that felt pretty good. But we definitely go heavier. Yeah, so that validation. Where it's coming from is a need to feel safe. A need to feel secure. And what you're doing, how you're doing it. If you rely on external validation to get that safety, to get that security, for me, that resulted in giving away everything, giving away the shop, just to feel safe, just to feel secure, just to feel like you're in business. Doesn't work. Never did. Because it ends up me just masking up all the time. So, gotta self-validate. feel secure in that. But, oh no, if you're self-validating and somebody else comes along and it's like, what are you doing right now? Suddenly you need validation from the other individual. And the self-validation is meaningless because you don't feel safe. But if you ground yourself in what you're doing and how you're doing it and where you are, that self-validation is a lot easier. External validation doesn't require giving away authority. It can just be what it is, just an external voice, either saying good job or saying like, hey, this is happening around you, or in fact going like, hey, what's the deal with this? Grounding yourself with another person's help of being like, this is where you are in space and time is fine. It's a fine way to ground yourself. You just have to make sure it doesn't result in the validation cycle of external validation to keep going. Know what makes you feel safe. If you know what makes you feel safe is coming from an unhealthy space, change it. Figure out a way to ground yourself. Figure out another way that I'm not even talking about. But that's what validation is to me. It's a search for safety. Because I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe in where I am and what I'm doing. So I need validation to keep that up, to keep that going. But if I can find it inside of myself, if I can ground myself in the reality that I find myself in, it becomes a lot easier to feel safe. All right, we're going to change the angle. We're going to go heavier. Let's do it. Okay, so we're on 18s. Change the angle a little bit. I am aware I look very blue in this light because there's a huge blue neon sign that says push, pull, repeat. Impressive, I know, but still makes everything look a little blue. But I promise my skin tone is okay. All right, let's do it. How do I take this off? There you go. 18s. Let's aim for 12. Oh. 12. That was 12, right? Yeah, that was 12. Okay. Yeah, feeling good about that. Feeling good. It was revolutionary to figure out how to actually ground myself. It was revolutionary because I didn't know how. And I was searching for that validation still, externally. To figure out it could come from me, to figure out it could come from a space inside of me, to then create a reality around me that isn't based off a fantasy. Because the fantasy is, I'm in danger. The fantasy is, I'm not secure in this space. The fantasy is going, what could happen next? What could happen next? But grounding creates a reality of, this is what's happening right now, to feel secure and to feel safe. Yeah. And I guess that's part of hypervigilance. We've talked about hypervigilance. I guess hypervigilance is a part of that. Is a part of the nature of living in that fantasy of what's going to happen next. I need to figure it out. Pattern recognition. But that just results in bad times. That just results in no bueno situations and transactional relationships. And when you are being hypervigilant and you're creating like a false reality, or you're creating a fantasy world of what could happen next, and then somebody validates that by going like, yeah, you are in danger. You're like, I knew it. Great job. I knew it. I should have been hypervigilant. Thank you so much. Instead of being like, I've grounded myself in reality. If this person says I'm in danger, oh, okay, I'm feeling safe. I'm feeling secure. I'm feeling okay. And suddenly that external voice, that side of yourself, if you're hypervigilant and says you're in danger, it becomes your whole world. And you need validation through that voice. Yeah. And when you can figure out how to ground yourself and feel secure in your space, and that external voice that was like feeling pretty good and feeling pretty important about being the person who validated what you're doing and how you're doing it, and you're going, I'm going to do my own thing, they suddenly feel at risk. And they could get louder. They could get louder with how they feel like you're in danger. And if you go, I feel like I'm doing the right thing, I'm doing it the right way, they will then get to the point of yelling. That's what I found from my previous relationships, from my previous situations, of saying, I'm going to go this way, I'm going to do this path. No, you can't. What's the response? Just taking away all consent, you know, just taking away my ability to make choices. It hurt, man. It hurt. And it also hurt because I felt like my hypervigilance was correct. I should have been hypervigilant. I should have been aware of the dangers, because this person was a danger and I wasn't hypervigilant to them. And it means you don't trust people anymore. And that validation you get from other people, you can't trust anymore, and you can't validate yourself properly. So then you're lost in a just ethereal realm of danger. And you have no moves you can do. You have nowhere you can go. And that's when I learned how to ground myself. Because I knew there was no other path. There was no other path but safety in myself, from myself. Yeah. It hurt. And it was hard. But I'm now validating myself and going like, I've done the work. I did it. I'm here. I'm here now. I'm doing the thing I want to do. And I'm still scared of that external voice coming in and saying, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that. But it's okay. I'm doing it. I am doing it. I'm doing the work, and I'm doing it the way I want to get to the space I want to get to. Yeah. Okay. One more set. I kind of want to go heavier. Yeah, let's go heavier. Okay. Final set. We've got 20 kilogram dumbbells for the chest fly. We're going to take it all the way, and we're going to feel really, really good about it, because we've grounded ourselves in the reality of everything's fine. Everything's secure. We're doing it the way we want to. We're living our life the way we want to live it. We're achieving our goals. We're beating personal bests. We're breaking expectations. Break expectations. Break expectations. Let's do it. Okay. Oh my goodness, that was good. All right, that was 12. That was 12. Great job. Okay, so chest today. We did the cable chest press. We did the upper chest leverage machine. We did dumbbell flies. Everything went pretty bueno. Talking about validation today and acknowledging that validation is just a route for feeling safe and secure in your space. But you can do that through grounding and through self-validation rather than needing external validation to be like, I'm safe, right? I'm safe. Good job, me. Somebody give me a good job, so then I feel safe. If you're able to do that for yourself, you can make decisions in your life, because the validation externally and the masking up to get validation results in no decisions being made without somebody else saying, yes, you can. Because if you disagree with that voice, it goes, no, you can't. Took a long time for me to figure that out. A long time, but I did. I got there. And it feels good to be in this space now where I am able to be the person I want to be and break expectations and do what I need to do to live the life that I want to live. Okay. Good job, everybody. Good job, me. Okay. I'm going to head off. Okay. You have a bueno day. Follow, like, subscribe, do all the things. Everything's fantastic. We're grounding ourselves in the reality that we find ourselves in. Yeah. Good job. Okay. Peace. Bye.